Hi everybody, it's Evan here, making sure your Mondays no longer suck. It's time for the den. And let me be the first to say, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I'm still 22, so every time this time of year, me and all my friends like to get together, pretend that we're Irish, or grab someone who is actually Irish, and get shit-faced. Seeing as St. Patrick's Day was on a Monday, and my friends and I are gonna be fucked if we miss a good excuse to drink. I am very hungover right now. But it was totally worth it. I mean, we had such an epic party last night, but I hurt.
So this week we're supposed to be talking about current projects, things that are taking up all of our time, things we're focusing on and dedicated to. I have nothing, absolutely nothing.
Other than this, Dan, you guys are my project right now.
I really had no idea how much work this was going to be, because these videos actually take a surprising amount of time. And because I'm lame and I have no project that I'm working on right now, I got together with the other guys from the den and we all came up with an alternative. We asked you guys to ask us questions about dating, relationships, any sort of stuff you wanted to know. Most of you are better at just liking these statuses instead of just asking questions. It's responses from you guys, the viewers, that are what's going to keep this channel running. We need your help because we can't come up with ideas on our own all the time. It's too much work.
And we seriously love hearing from you guys. It's great. It's great to have your input on the channel. So please, comment here, comment on the video down below in the crotch, as Dan calls it. You can go ahead and comment on our Facebook page too, facebook.com/menoftheden. So please, to use Greg's expression that or his hashtag he's so proud of. Hashtag join the den, join the discussion. A few quick notes before I get my Q&A kicked off here. All my other co-hosts on the den here, they're dicks. Except you, Aaron, you're fine, honey. You're just lovely, and I love you, and your video was fantastic, and you're such a sweetheart, and thank you for the shout out. But for the rest of you, this milk in a bag thing, we're done with it. You hear me? So I'm gonna table it. We're just gonna table it. We're not gonna bring up this stupid milk thing in a bag anymore. I don't care about like flip top or like carton or what the fuck ever you carry your milk in if you got it in some sort of. I don't care if you drink it out of a continuum transfunctioner. Just drink your milk and shut up. We're done. Also, Spencer, you took a shot at the American healthcare system in your video. Now I don't think that you're necessarily as informed as you think you are on that topic. Cause I heard that they just launched something called Obamacare. From what I hear, it's this really great new healthcare system. Now, from what I understand of it, it's if you need some sort of medical care or medical assistance, Obama will come to your house and take care of you. That sounds great. And Spencer, what you're also forgetting is that for a very, very long time, they've also had this awesome system where people have made a lot of money off the sick and dying. So don't judge it too quickly. Greg, I loved your video, man. I loved all your little snappy comic book looking transitions and stuff. That was awesome shit. And your boyfriend's hot as fuck. But you also touched on a really, really important topic, and I need to give you some kudos for it. My boy Greg went and got tested in his video. Now, I don't want to be that guy that's standing on his soapbox, but we all know that safe sex is important. And we all know somebody who's had some kind of HIV or AIDS scare. There's some scary shit out there. So Greg, I fucking salute you, man. Thank you for setting a good example for everybody, doing the responsible shit and going and getting tested regularly. You are the man. Erica, it was really cool checking out your trip to Cincinnati. I hope that you had an awesome time hanging out with all your old friends again and going to your old stomping grounds. And I love how you went all eat, pray, love on your video. Actually, it seemed more like it was just eat, drink, and look at guys' butts. But it looks like you had a really great time, and I'm glad to hear it. I have one question though. Could you explain to me a little bit more about Cincinnati chili? Like, it's my understanding, does it have spaghetti in it, or what's in it? It doesn't. I'm confused. So I've got my list of questions here all ready to go. They've kind of come to me in a very, very random, jumbled order, so that's how I'm going to be answering them, just one at a time. Most of the heavier questions actually ended up towards the back of the list somehow. So if you want to see me address some of the deep stuff, you gotta watch the full 10 minutes. First question, what are your views on an open relationship? I think an open relationship can definitely work between two individuals. However, it always comes down to the same things. Their levels of trust with each other, their levels of compatibility, sexually, emotionally, and otherwise. I think both people just really need to be on the same page, and it needs to come from a mutual place of understanding that people have physical needs, and varieties is one of the best way to spice up those needs. That being said, I have never been in a successful open relationship. My first relationship was entirely monogamous. It just wasn't right for either of us at the time. In my second relationship, we did try to give it a shot because I was dating a guy long distance that lived in Cleveland, and he was quite understanding. He says to me, "You're in your early 20s, you've got that crazy libido, and I know that you're gonna want to get some action." So he was pretty understanding about it. But the first time that we actually tried it and tried to use what we deemed a hall pass, I was overcome with guilt and couldn't deal with it. And he was a really bad lay. So we decided to junk that idea. Now, I don't necessarily believe that because it didn't work for me, it doesn't work for anybody. I know some people who are in very successful, long-term open relationships, and they really make it work. As time goes by, how do you keep a relationship exciting? That one's a little trickier, of course. Having been in a couple of long-term relationships myself, one of them was 3 years, the other one was 2 years, I've kind of run into this issue. Now, the thing is, it's just like everyday life. How do you keep your day-to-day existence exciting? Is it exciting or is it just mundane? You just have to be consistent and find ways to shake things up. Do things that you think would be exciting and fun. If you like the idea of a random surprise picnic at the beach, do a random surprise picnic at the beach. If you think it'd be cool to grab some front row tickets to a rock show, get those damn tickets. The idea is to indulge yourself, take opportunities, go out and do things. It's when you just sit around all the time and soak up each other's company and expect each other to just be entertaining that's when things go stale. Now that, again, is just in my experience. Can any of you guys be found on XTube? If you're genuinely interested in someone, how many times do you hang out with them before you have sex? I'm usually a 3-date kind of guy. It really depends on the individual. I mean, I've had some where I couldn't keep myself off them. I've had others where we've hung out tons of times and it's always been fun and we just haven't. Really though, I don't think that there is any set number that anybody should operate by. Sex is the type of thing that you should do it when it feels right. Yeah, I know that sounds cheesy, but that's what I believe. What do you do when you're not big enough to be a big guy and not skinny enough to be a skinny guy and you fall into that weird little gray area? We all know the labels that everybody likes to put on themselves and we all know how crazy they are and we all know that they seem pretty arbitrary. So my thoughts on it? Why not make up your own damn label? I want to be called a Super Optimus Prime Bottom. I want to be a big Grizzly Adams Butch Bear. Just find one that you're cool with and rock it. That's all that matters. And from what I hear, there are tons and tons of you guys that feel like you're in that boat where you don't think you're quite big enough to be a bear or a chub, but you know you're not really small enough to be like a jock or a chaser or whatever. Why don't you guys unite and make your own awesome new label group and just take over the world? The world needs to know, who is the better Buffy? Christy Swanson or Sarah Michelle Gellar? I think I'm officially too young to answer this question. Like, I remember Buffy being on TV when I was a kid and stuff, but that's about it. I think it was just Sarah at the time. What is the first thing that you notice in a guy? Shoulders. I am all about the broad shoulders. Big broad shoulders, arms, butt, and the eyes. What would you categorize yourself as if you had to assign a label to your type? Alright, well, I'm clearly a chaser. I don't know, some say I'm a twink, some say I'm a jock. I normally just tell them my name's Evan, and that's what you can stick with. What kind of backlash, if any, do you get from the regular gay community because you're a chaser and like big guys? I deal with enough. I get it from the gay community, I get it from my straight friends, I get it from everybody. I like big guys. It's the truth. Deal with it. Honestly though, most people don't understand. From the gay community, the backlash that I get, ew, who are you checking out? Is he really dancing with that guy? And for a while, it used to really get to me. I was self-conscious about it. I was worried about it. But then I came to a point where I realized that all those people spending their time giving me bullshit about the guys that I'm dancing with and hanging out with, they're standing over there holding up the fucking wall. I'm in the middle of the dance floor shaking my ass. Who's having a better time? I'll tell you what, it's not the assholes throwing shade. It's this guy, surrounded by fatties. What do you think about age difference in relationships? Do you think that May to December relationships work? They seem to be very common in the bear community. Would you consider being in such a relationship? And how or would you bridge the cultural gap that an age difference can bring? That's a doozy. Like I said, I've been in 2 long-term relationships. Funny enough, both of those guys, they're both 10 years older than me. So I'm actually a little well-versed in this May to December relationship, as you call it, which is a term I've never heard before, but apparently it has something to do with people being born in May and people being born in December and they're being like 11 months apart or something. It can create a lot of interesting dynamics. It can also pose a couple problems that are pretty hard to circumvent. One thing that I definitely ran into is when you're dating somebody that's 10 years older than you, they're just straight up at a different stage in their life. So I'm all ready to go out and have fun and go to parties and do all this crazy shit, meet people. I'm going to school, I'm starting out a new career, you know, my life is all out in front of me, I've got all sorts of decisions to make, and my boyfriend's already kind of set up. He's got his career figured out, probably got a house or something, he's done the whole partying and living it up and having his 20s. And he's probably getting around time to kind of settle down and kick back and maybe put a ring on something. I'm still at the age where that scares the hell out of me. So that one, as long as you can really understand and empathize with each other and try to meet somewhere in the middle where both people can feel like they are getting what they need out of the relationship and getting something that's relevant to what their needs actually are as opposed to what you can give them, then that's really not so tough to work around. My solution though, both of the bears that I dated were crazy. One was a super immature kid at heart and the other one was an equally immature party animal. But I mean, really though, I'm not going to date somebody that can't keep up with me. I also ran into a lot of conflicting interests. When my last ex and I would watch TV, it was a nightmare. He'd sit there channel surfing until he finds something in black and white, and then he stops, and then he wants to watch it. And I would just sit there and groan. But just like in any relationship where two people like very, very different things, you have to find a way to meet in the middle. Find interests that are in common. And if you don't have anything in common, do what we did. We showed each other everything that there was to love about our own interests until the guy that we were with was able to pick up on some of them too. So by the end of our 2 years, I was totally down with all of his crazy punk music that I hated at the beginning. The key is having excellent communication, being clear and concise on communicating what you need and what you are not getting. That works a lot better than holding anybody to any sort of expectation in every scenario. Many bigger boys deal with some sort of self-esteem issue due to their weight or how they fit into the mainstream society. How do you address this in a potential love interest? Do you only gravitate towards more confident men? Or do you enjoy the challenge of helping a guy overcome his insecurities and realize how little his weight actually matters? This scenario makes me sad. There are so many gorgeous, amazing guys out there who are just depressed and they're super down on themselves because they haven't met the right guy yet. They haven't met anybody that really appreciates them. It's something that a lot of people go through, but unfortunately you big bears seem to deal with it a lot. And I'm sorry, because I don't have enough love to give every single one of you. I really wish that I did. Now, when you're first starting to talk to a guy, somebody who's really insecure can be kind of a turnoff, I'll be honest. But as a chaser, I'm also privy to one of the most amazing things in the world. I get to be part of their transformation. I get to help them realize that they have so much to offer the world, that their size is not a write-off for them in any regard. I help them see the better side of being big. And I help them learn to love themselves and feel sexy. Generally, after a month or two of me holding their hand, they've totally got it. Watching somebody go from that shy, insecure version of themselves to somebody who's willing to flip their shirt up at you and rub it and say, come on, you know you want this. That's fucking awesome. So in short, yes, I will take that challenge, as long as the guy is worth it. Alright, well I think that's about enough of me talking at you for one day. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Once again, I gotta give a shout out to all my viewers. Thank you so much for all of your support. This really has been mind-blowing. Every single time when he hits me up on Growler or Facebook or anywhere saying that you've seen my videos and that you like my shit, I seriously get all crazy, giddy, and excited. So please, if you enjoy what you watch, if you enjoy my den videos, I would love to hear from you. Whether you've got more questions, comments, or you just want to get to know me, feel free to comment either right down there, again in the crotch as Dan calls it, or you can comment on our Facebook page. And as a final parting, I want to leave you with one last question. Last night, I made the commitment and I finally decided Evan's gonna try to grow a beard. So I want to know what you think. What do you think of it so far? I got it down to like a little stubble here. Does it look even? Does it look clean? Should I get rid of it entirely? Let me know what you think. So I'm gonna have to plug that website again. That's youtube.com/menoftheden and facebook.com/menoftheden. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that cool shit. Peace out!